Hey friends, Mindy here. Welcome back to my channel. This is going to be part one of a series of videos doing some start to finish journals using this Botanical Collage and Cluster Mega Pack from the Junk Journal Studio. This is the pink add-on. She has some other colorways. This is the most recent one. There are also a couple of sets of freebies over on her Ko-fi, so be sure to go check that out. I will have her description or her Etsy shop down in my description as well. I'm just going through all of these beautiful pages. Some of these I printed more than once. I love that some of these she does in multiple sizes. And some of them that I know that I'm just going to use multiples of, I go ahead and just print those out right out of the gate, especially like ones that I know that will be good for journaling cards. Some of these larger ones are perfect for tucking in pockets and that kind of stuff. I will make those into journaling cards. And then we get to the actual kind of collage papers. Some of these I left with a white backside, and others I double-sided printed them with one of the other pages from the collection. Just to make it so that when I put them into the journal, they have a backer on them. I don't mind the white page, but you can see there I did add some of that beautiful kind of graph paper just to give some extra writing space. And so what I'm going to actually be doing with this is splitting these into two different journals. And so this series of start to finish journals is actually going to be me working on two journals kind of simultaneously, both using the Botanical Collage and Cluster Mega Pack. So I think these kits are so beautiful, and they are just full of so many fun things to work on. And so I'm very excited to have another colorway. The green and neutral one is probably my favorite, I think, out of all of them. But I just love them. So I've used them multiple ways. And so you can kind of see here, I'm just sorting these now between sort of the pink colorway and then the pages that are more like yellow and green, kind of neutral. And that's how the journals are going to be. And I'm also going to do them into separate sizes. So I have kind of separated those into my two piles. And now I'm going to add in some vintage papers from my shop. So I have packs of these available on my website. I will link that in the description below as well. That's called chosenandcrafting.com. I have, that was my husband saying hi. I have some pages that I thought these were from like a wildflower collection. I might use these either as ephemera or as like little tip-ins. I have this beautiful French rag paper. This one is actually another foreign language. I can't remember which one. I have a ledger page, some music paper, and all of these are going to go over in the kind of the pink side one. I also have some coffee dyed paper. I do have that available in my shop as well. And then these you can see on this yellow size, I have some more of those floral pages. I found a green ledger page to add in there, and then this beautiful art print that I think is going to go really well with all of it as well. And so I thought I was recording when I put the pink one together, but I wasn't. So this is the one is going to be actually larger than the other journal. This is one I basically just took the 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and folded it in half, and that's going to be kind of the size of this journal. I mentioned this before. This is not a size that I typically make. I usually make a little bit smaller than that, but I wanted to keep that one that size. And then this one is going to be more like 5 by 7-ish, which is kind of just a journal size I personally really prefer. I wanted them to be just a little bit different in size. And so this one is going to require me to trim down some of these pages. I'm starting with this art print. I was trying to decide how I wanted to fold this. And in the end, because it's so wide, I'm able to just fold it lengthwise. And then because it's so tall, I'm going to fold up the bottom, and that's going to create a couple of pockets for me, just kind of built-in pockets. But I even then need to trim off some of this space. So it's going to be so that some of that foliage down at the bottom is going to be upside down, but I'm not mad about it. I can always cover it with something if I want to, but it does give me the opportunity to kind of cover up one of those images on the inside that I'm not crazy about. So you can see I'm just using a ruler to tear that off, and then it's just kind of measuring. And then this is where the pocket is going to be. You'll see it just kind of covers up that image that I wasn't crazy about. And so I folded that, and then what I need to do is just create a little bit of space here at the spine. So I'm folding I'm just cutting along that fold of just the pocket section. You can see that way when I fold those pockets up, it's not going to kind of catch on itself. It just will lie flat better. And then I have that ledger paper. Like I said, I will need to trim all these down because this is a bigger ledger. It's not a super thick paper, but I just like the fact that it was green. So I wanted to include it. I'm just trying to decide which parts of the papers I want to keep. So I'm going to set those aside. I might need to do something with that green here in a little bit as well. It's just a little bit too big still. And then we have these collage pages, and on the back side of these, I have they're double-sided printed so that there's basically writing space on the back of these already. But I know I need to trim them down because, again, these are 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. I'm doing a 5 by 7 journal, so I'm going to lose about 1.5 inches of height on here. And so I'm trying to decide if I want to take it from the top or from the bottom. So you can see I did take a little bit from the top here, and then I kind of went down. There was no rhyme or reason to this. It was just parts of this that I really wanted to keep. Like on this one, there's that color swatch on the left, and I did not want to have to cut into that. So I went ahead and just took everything sort of off of the top of this particular page, because I really love that color swatch. You can kind of see over there by my left hand. And then there's a couple in here as well where there's just images where, like this bird here down at the bottom. I'm going to trim that, but I don't want to necessarily like cut off his head. So I'm going to actually make this page a little bit smaller than 7 inches just so that I can save that little bird, and I will use that paper somewhere else in the journal. And then this one, again, I'm just trying to look and make sure I'm not cutting off any images and saving the parts of this page that I really like. This one, I really wanted to keep that butterfly. So again, I'm going to trim off the bottom section where that bird is. I did clip his head a little bit, but I think he'll be okay. And then I have this beautiful music paper, but it's very large as well. So I'm going to cut off the title. It's from Les Miserables, so I don't really want to have that title on there, but I really wanted to keep the top section with the little holes because I just think that's really interesting. So I did trim that down. And then this is one of the printables that had a white border on it. So I'm trimming this one down as well. But, and again, this is 11 inches, from side to side. And so I'm going to have to do something because when I fold these in half, you're going to have like 5.5 inches, and it's just going to be a little bit too wide. So, I'm kind of trying to decide how I want to do that. So what you'll see me do with a lot of these pages is sort of fold in a tuck spot so that I don't have to cut off all of this area. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to do this with this music page as well. I'm just going to create little kind of tuck spots. So when I actually go to create the journal, they will either be tuck spots or there'll be a page where I can add in a pocket, or I can add in one of those botanical pages from my vintage books and kind of do like a tip out situation or add some writing space or whatever. It's just going to give me a lot of more room to sort of play in this journal. And they're just sort of basically built-in pockets already that I don't have to do anything with other than maybe decorate or whatever. So you can kind of see that's what I'm doing here with this music page. I'm just going to create a little pocket. This is pretty thick paper, and so I'm able to just make this pocket there on that one. The ledger one, I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to do this one. I thought I did need to trim it down just a little bit, and in the end I end up kind of folding some of those ends on itself. I just set that one aside so that I could think about it. And then I did the same thing with the coffee dyed. So I folded them in half, and then the areas that were kind of overhanging, I either trimmed down or folded back on themselves. So this one beautiful neutral printable here that's got all of those kind of squares with the letters, I thought that would make such a beautiful sort of pocket. So I went ahead and just folded that. It's basically already decorated, and then I refolded the page. I think that will be okay. I really love how that one ended up looking. And then here with these, again, I didn't want to have to cut off or fold in 1/4 inch or whatever. So I did trim off just a little bit of these two, and then the other one already has the pocket that's folded in. And then these, again, I didn't want to lose any of these images. So what I'm going to end up doing is folding about 1 inch in here, and then folding the page in half. And I tried to do some so that that pocket was on the front side, and then on the others, the pocket is on the back side. So that just will give me the variety when I'm putting all of the pages together. I hope that that makes sense, but I'm just trying to explain the process of the way my brain works when I'm putting these pages together. And so again, you can see I'm just doing this with all of them. If I was making a wider journal, like the pink journal, obviously didn't have to do this. I was able to just fold the pages in half and it would be fine. But now I'm going to have to go back and create more pockets and things for that particular journal, whereas this kind of already has a start for me. And so it does kind of take some of the guesswork out of all of that. And then if I want to, I can always trim them off if I feel like there's too many pockets or whatever. So now I'm going to put my signature together, and I'm just trying to decide which one of these pages I want to be the very first page you see when you open up. And so I chose that, and now I'm just going to kind of go through and alternate. So I added one of my coffee dyed papers, then I added this book text, I think is the one I did next. Yes, this was one of the foreign language pages. And then I added in another printable, and then I went back to, I think I added the ledger here. You can see it's kind of, there's no rhyme or reason. I just kind of go with the page before it, making sure that I don't have pockets lined up in exactly the same places, page after page, different kinds of things like that. So I added the ledger, then I add this beautiful print from an art book, and just trying to make sure I have that sort of set up how I want it. And then one thing that I did do for the very center page is I actually folded it the opposite direction. So it's has the beautiful image on the inside, which I actually cut off out of this clip. So, but I am going to do a quick flip through of this so that you can actually see what this looks like. So I have a printable and coffee dyed, and then the vintage paper. And then I kind of just went through there and did that same pattern. You can kind of see my idea for adding in a little flip out section with those botanical pages as well. And then the music paper. So I have like vintage and then printable and then coffee dyed, and it just kind of continues that way all the way throughout the journal. And so stay tuned for part 2, where I will work on the covers for these journals. I want to do a start to finish series with these journals in particular. And be sure to check out Michelle's website, her Etsy shop, her Ko-Fi, and all of those things. My links are in the description as well for my website and my Facebook group. I'd love to have you over there. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and until next time, bye.